Hey, what's good, y'all? It's the Carolina Kid here to do again what y'all hate doing. I know, I'm talking about reading. Yeah, and listen, I'm still into the 7 habits of highly effective families. And this segment I'm reading today, making and keeping promises. And I keep telling y'all, this that dope you need to get addicted to right here. I'm about to tap right into it though. Listen up. Many times over the years, people have asked if I had one idea that would best help people grow so that they could better cope with their problems, seize their opportunities, and make their life successful. I've come to give a simple 4 word answer: make and keep promises. Although this may sound like an oversimplification, I truly believe it is profound. In fact, as you would discover, all of the first 3 habits are embodied in that simple 4 word expression. If an entire family would cultivate the spirit of making and keeping promises to one another, it would create a multitude of other good things. Cynthia, that's Stephen's daughter, this is what she said. When I was 12 years old, Dad promised to take me with him on a business trip to San Francisco. I was so excited. We talked about the trip for 3 months. We were going to be there for 2 days and one night, and we planned every detail. Dad was going to be busy in meetings that first day, so I would hang around the hotel. After his meetings, we planned to take a cab to Chinatown and have our favorite Chinese food. Then we'd see a movie, take a ride on a trolley car, and go back to our hotel room for a video and hot fudge sundaes from room service. I was dying with anticipation. The day finally arrived. 3 hours dragged by as I waited at the hotel. 6 o'clock came, but Dad didn't. Finally, at 6:30, he arrived with another man, a dear friend and an influential business acquaintance. I remember how my heart sank as the man said, "I'm so excited to have you here, Stefan. Tonight, Lois and I would like to take you to the wharf for a spectacular seafood dinner. And then you must see the view from our house." When Dad told him I was there, the man said, "Of course she can come too. We'd love having her." Oh, great, I thought. I hate fish, and I'll be stuck alone in the back seat while Dad and his friend talk. I could see all my hopes and plans going down the drain. My disappointment was bigger than life. This man was pressing so hard. I wanted to say, "Dad, this is our time together. You promised." But I was 12 years old, so I only cried inside. I will never forget the feeling I had when Dad said, "Gosh, Bill, I'd love to see you both, but this is a special time with my girl. We've already got it planned to the minute. You were kind to invite us." I could tell this man was disappointed, but amazingly to me, he seemed to understand. We did absolutely everything we had planned on that trip. We didn't miss a thing. That was just about the happiest time of my life. I don't think any young girl ever loved her father as much as I loved mine that night. I'm convinced you would be hard pressed to come up with a deposit that has more impact in the family than making and keeping promises. Just think about it. How much excitement, anticipation, and hope is created by a promise. And the promises we make in the family are the most vital and often the most tender promises of all. The most foundational promise we ever make to another human being is the vow inside a marriage. It's the ultimate promise, and equal to it is the promise we implicitly have with our children, particularly when they're little, that we will take care of them, that we will nurture them. That's why divorce and abandonment are such painful withdrawals. Those involved often feel as though the ultimate promises have been broken. So when these things have occurred, it becomes even more important to make deposits that will help rebuild bridges of confidence and trust. At one time, a man who had helped me on a particular project described the awful divorce he had just gone through. But he spoke with a kind of glowing pride about how he had kept the promise he had made to himself and his wife many months before that, no matter what happened. He would not badmouth her, especially in front of his kids, and that he would always speak of her in ways that were affirming, uplifting, and positive. This was during the time when the legal and emotional battles were going on. And he said it was the hardest thing he had ever done. But he also said how grateful he was that he did it because it made all the difference, not only in how his children felt about themselves, but also in how they felt about their parents and their sense of family, despite the very difficult situation. He couldn't say enough about how glad he was that he kept the promise he had made. Even when promises have been broken in the past, you can sometimes turn the situation into a deposit. I remember a man once who didn't come through on a commitment he had made to me. Later, he asked if he could have the opportunity to do something else. And I said no. Based on my past experience with him, I wasn't sure he would follow through. But that man said to me, "I didn't come through before. I should have acknowledged it. I just gave a half-hearted effort, and that was wrong of me. Would you please give me one more opportunity? Not only will I come through, I will come through in a gangbuster style. I agreed, and he did it. He came through in a remarkable way. And in my eyes, he rose even higher than if he had kept his first commitment. His courage in coming back, in dealing with a difficult problem and a mistake in an honorable way, made a massive deposit in my emotional bank account. Wow. Like I keep telling y'all, the dope you need to get addicted to is right here. And look, I'm going to go ahead and recap this segment right here. Making and keeping promises. Y'all, and I've definitely failed to this too many times. I think sometimes people may use that promise word. I know I've done it before. Use that promise word as almost like a cliche. Like, I got you. I promise you I'll do it. I promise. And while we don't understand the weight behind that word promise, we should not be making promises we do not intend on keeping. Like, if you know you can't come through with it, don't even use that word. Do not say you'll promise that you'll do something that you know you ain't got the time for, you ain't got the energy or gonna put the effort into. Just don't do it. And especially when we're dealing with kids, when we're dealing with our children, we got to understand that children do not forget. So if you say on a Monday that you're gonna take your kids to the park that weekend, oh, they're not gonna forget it. They're gonna remind you and let you know that they still trying to go to the park this weekend. So whatever event that you done cooked up in your head thinking you getting ready to get to and go to on the weekend, go ahead, exit out, cross that, and get them babies to the park. You know what time it is, right? If they ask you for a toy, they keep begging you for a toy, and you done finally agree to it just so they can get out your face, well, you still got to come through on that promise that you agreed to get that toy. Get that toy, you know? But that's why you shouldn't just be making promises in the moment sometimes, just to get them out your face. Be honest. If you ain't going to do it, you ain't going to do it. But if you're going to do it, and you're going to build their anticipation up waiting on it, don't feed them some excuse later, just, out of your own selfish reasons in order to get out of the promise that you made. And it's not only our children, y'all. Anybody that you keep promises with, you need to follow through with it. Stand on your word. Be a man or woman about the things that you say. Stand on it and handle it and go through with it. And like the book was saying, that really stuck out to me, like the ultimate promise, which is the vow between you, the Lord, and your significant other. Once y'all decide to stand on that stage and get married, whether it be in a church, courthouse, however you do it, do not make that promise to the man upstairs and your significant other if you do not feel like that you are ready. Like, it is, y'all, I'm telling y'all what I know. I'm telling you something I done been through. Do not get up there lying and you ain't ready. I made that mistake. And, and you're not only lying to your significant other, you lying to the Lord about being together forever. And so when you renege, or when I reneged on that situation, it came back 10 times worse on me. As a matter of fact, I still suffer from the lingering effects of it today. Like, it's what it is. But just because, a bridge isn't broken, it doesn't mean that it can't be repaired through making the correct deposits into the emotional bank account. That's what it's about. We have to keep creating those deposits, and we got to do it religiously. We got to be consistent with it. We got to keep putting those deposits in, because, things will never be the same. And, I don't expect things to ever be the same, not in my situation, not in your situation. I don't know your situation, but it's not about going into it to expect things to be the same, but it's about mending that fence, rebuilding that bridge, so that both parties are allowed to communicate and walk back and forth across the bridge and be able to build trust, build accountability, and build responsibility within each other. So, that's all I got to say about that today. Y'all know I ain't going to hold you too long. I'm going to get right to the point. All right, y'all, kid out.